Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Season 9, Episode 39, overall 479 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, their great selection of all-electric vehicles, as well as their Cadillac products as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210. Tell them Chris Palme sent you. Or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership has been family run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969, and I have been a customer of theirs since the year 2000. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show is also brought to you by Wellington Brewery at 950 Woodlawn Road West in Guelph, Ontario. Check out their website, wellingtonbrewery.ca. Try a welly on, and please remember to drink responsibly. And Wellington Brewery is celebrating their 40th year as a local craft brewery here in Guelph, Ontario. So again, check out wellingtonbrewery.ca, and please remember to drink responsibly. I hope everyone's doing well on this. I can't believe it's already Saturday, January 11th, 2025 here in Southern Ontario. We got some snow coming and the temperatures aren't as bad, but I'm looking forward to my guest tonight. This is her first appearance on our show. Her name is Casey Johns. She is a Nashville recording artist and songwriter, originally born in Memphis, Tennessee. And we're going to bring on Casey and talk about her music career and how she started up in the industry, and maybe even her latest single that's coming out in a couple weeks as well. Good evening, Casey. How you doing?
What's up, Chris? Good to see you.
I am doing well. How are things in Nashville, Tennessee right now?
It is snowy today. Apparently, it snowed yesterday. We were in Colorado. And when I flew in today to Nashville, there was snow everywhere. So it's a little cold.
How was the weather when you were out in Colorado?
It was snowy.
Snow? Yeah, we've had snow here too. Not a lot of snow, but we've had a little bit of here and there. And we had snow for Christmas. And to me, Christmas feels more like Christmas with white snow.
I totally agree. I do miss the heat though. I'm craving some sunshine right now.
Absolutely. And before we get into some questions, I just wanted to say prayers and thoughts to those people out in Los Angeles and Southern California right now. 11 people have reportedly died from the fire so far. 10,000 plus structures have been destroyed. Over 300,000 people, I believe, have been evacuated over 56 square miles. And they estimate to rebuild what happened down in Los Angeles and in that area between $60 billion and to $130 billion. And if there's anybody that's watching this live streamed or on audio that would like to help out with supporting the Red Cross in the States or in Canada for this disaster, you can do redcross.ca here in Canada for the Canadian Red Cross, and in the States it is redcross.org if you'd like to donate and help out as well. Thoughts, Casey, on the fires out in Los Angeles right now?
Man, I mean, my prayers go out to them. I've got a few friends out there that are having to evacuate, so it's just been heartbreaking to watch all this go down.
It really puts life into perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. Yeah, it does.
And I just want to give a quick shout out to some of my comedian friends out in Los Angeles, especially Mary Kennedy. She's going to be doing a fundraiser, I believe, on January 19th for what happened out there. And hopefully maybe some more comedians and some other musicians will be able to do fundraisers, because they're going to need a lot of support financially out there to rebuild out in that area in the next couple of years at least.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, Casey, we're going to get into some questions. Can you tell my audience just a little bit about yourself?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. I grew up on the Mississippi line right outside of Memphis. And I pretty much just grew up singing in church like a lot of other artists. And after that, I grew up on singing on the Bill Street Sing, obviously being from Memphis. And then I've sang on cruise ships. I've sang at Dollywood for a season. I finally moved to Nashville in 2016. So it's been a crazy ride.
How much of an adjustment was it moving to Nashville, Tennessee as a 17-year-old?
I actually didn't move here when I was 17. I did come here a lot though. Being from Memphis, my mom, it was really easy for me and my mom to travel back and forth. So we'd crash on people's couches and but yeah, I absolutely fell in love with the Nashville scene when I was 17. So I just begged my mom to take me every chance we got. So I was very grateful we were able to do that. So but yeah, being in Nashville has been just home for me. So I'm so happy I finally moved here.
Now, is there anybody else in your family that had musical ability besides yourself?
Not really. My mom sang in a band when she was young, when she was in high school. My sister sang a little bit. She was great at holding a tune, but I'm pretty much the only one that like wanted to do this full time and make a career of it.
Can you tell my audience how you ended up getting your name, Casey?
Oh yeah, I was named after Casey and the Sunshine Band. My mom was a huge disco fan, so
So was I. I was born in the 70s, in the early 70s, but I grew up listening to disco music, and I did a lot of roller skating with disco music as well.
yeah, and what's cool? Casey and the Sunshine Band, they're actually back on tour. So last year I bought tickets to their shows. The first time I'd ever seen them live. And I mean, man, they put on an incredible show. I hope one day I get to meet them.
Absolutely. And in my opinion, the best era for music, I can't speak for the 50s and 60s, but I think the 70s and 80s are the two best decades for music, or two of the best.
Man, I wish I was alive in the 80s because I mean, I was born in 89, so I reached the peak. But man, I would have loved to have lived through the 80s with the music genre. I mean, I totally agree. 80s was just the best.
Do you have a particular favorite song from the 80s?
Oh my gosh. I have like 40 different songs that I love. I mean, everyone from Heart to Pat Benatar to Motley Crue to I mean, even Reba. I mean, even, the Judds, all those country artists, all those female artists from the 80s too. I mean, we just were we were just blessed with the 80s of music.
Absolutely. Gotta ask you this. Obviously, Taylor Swift is huge right now. But I was born in the 70s, and Michael Jackson obviously in the 80s was big, and Madonna. I wanted to get your perspective. Do you think Madonna and MJ, if they had the social media back then as they do now, would have been as big as Taylor Swift and some of the stars today?
That's a great question. I have no clue. What I love about the 70s and the 80s was there was no social media and that everything was so organic. I mean, people went to record stores and they bought records. And I mean, they would save up all their pennies to go to a record store and buy their favorite records and save up all their money to go see a show. And I feel like a lot has changed obviously with social media. I mean, I love it. I think it's great because I think with social media you can reach a bigger audience, which I think is really great. But I would love to have lived through that time where you really organically had to build that fan base.
Absolutely. I wanted to get your thoughts too. I know back in the 70s we had 8-track cassettes, the cassettes, and we had vinyl records. Right, vinyl records are back in. Is any of your music eventually going to be on vinyl records? Have you thought about
It,
that?
it is. We do have our record. Yeah. My Thunder record is on vinyl and you can buy it on my website or you can buy it anywhere online.
I find the older I get, a lot of things go back to what it was like in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, absolutely. I've
Have you
actually
thought about?
I've
Go
even
ahead.
seen cassette tapes coming out. They're coming back.
Cassette tapes.
Yeah,
Wow, I
I've
still
seen
have
them
some
coming back.
cassette tapes at home.
Yep, I've seen them coming back.
Wow.
It's crazy.
One thing I will never do, and I think it's already back, is bell bottoms. I will never go back to those pants again.
Thank God for Lainey Wilson. I'm glad she's doing it. She's killing it.
Hey, I was also going to say, I guess I was reading your bio too. You're a big fan of Stevie Nicks as well.
I am. Yeah, I grew up a lot in that era of Stevie Nicks, and I mean, I'm a huge fan of her. I just recently read her book, Gold Dust Woman, which is just amazing. But huge fan of that genre of music.
And she still performs, and a lot of these performers from the 70s and 80s are still going on tour. I know Phil Collins, because of health reasons, has had to retire, but also a big fan of his, and also Billy Joel too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, those are legends.
Hey Casey, when did you develop an interest in music?
My granddaddy played guitar, and he pretty much taught me how to play, and he told me to take guitar lessons, and him and my mom gave me my first guitar, and they really encouraged me to learn an instrument, and I'm so glad he played guitar. So he and I would just pick on the front porch together, and I think that was when I really learned to fall in love with old country music. My granddad loved Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn, Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash. He loved that old stuff, and he taught me a lot about good old country music. And so I definitely think that's when I first kind of dipped my toes into the music industry.
The old country music, who are some of your favorite performers, and how much has country music changed since even you've been around?
Some of my favorites right now I love Miranda Lambert. She's my favorite. But of course, I love, like I mentioned, Reba, and huge fan of Jody Messina. George Strait was my first concert, and Jody Messina opened up for him. Huge fan of the '90s. I loved '90s country. Shania Twain, of course. And then it's crazy how much country music has changed. But I think it's changed, in my opinion. I think it's changed for the better. I think with country music, especially, we have so many different types of country music, and so we're able to build different types of audiences and different types of fans. And I love that fact.
How would you describe your style of music for my audience here in Canada?
I am definitely country rock and roll with a little bit of blues.
Who were some of your, I guess, Casey, I'll reword the question. Who were some of your other early influences and mentors, and how much it impacted your family, I guess, have on your music career, especially your mom too?
Yeah, so I think a lot of my early influencers was definitely my granddad, obviously, because he played guitar and fell in love with just, playing guitar with him on the front porch. Um, and then, my mom and my entire family has been so supportive of my music career. I mean, they always encourage, especially my mom, she always encouraged me to just continue to keep singing. And even when times got tough, just keep going and keep going. And, once one door closes, another door will open. So, I mean, my entire family has just been so supportive. I mean, my family tries to come out to all my shows when they can. So yeah, they're just super supportive.
How important is having a strong support system, especially in the very competitive music industry?
Extremely. I was just talking to a friend this week, and they were saying how both their parents they had no desire to support what they did, and it broke my heart to hear that, because I didn't experience that. I grew up in a family where it was just all about encouragement, and if you put your mind to something, you go try to succeed and work really hard to succeed at what you want to do, and go out there and get it. So I think it's great. I was very blessed, and to come from a family that just full of encouragement.
For those people that are watching our show live stream tonight or later on audio, and they're interested in pursuing a career in the music industry, what advice would you give them, Casey?
I think honestly, just to be true to who you are, really hone into who your influences are and what type of music you like, and really just tone into, that type of music, and really find your sound, really, fine tune it. And I mean, it took me a long time too. So I think honestly, if you're just true to who you are, and just try to be as humble and genuine as possible. And I think people will really connect to songwriting. If you're writing from the heart, I think people really connect to that.
That's what I'm doing with the radio media career too. Be yourself. They can tell if you're genuine or not. And I find more people flock to you when they know what kind of person you are. So be yourself in whatever career you're in.
Totally agree. Absolutely.
Gonna ask you about the guitar. I got to say that again, the guitar. How long did it take for you to pick up the guitar? And do you play any other musical instruments besides the guitar?
Um, it didn't take too long. I think I took, me and my granddad, we played for a long time together, and then I decided to get into guitar lessons because I wanted to learn more. And so I took lessons from this guy named Andy McCullough, and he just had tattoos all over him. He had long hair, and I just loved his vibe. And so every single Tuesday, I'd go back and take another lesson, and he would always just be so kind to me and so encouraging. And so within a year, I was playing and just out there starting a band. So um, didn't take too long. And then, yeah, what was the next question?
Um, I guess learning the guitar. Now I remember. Have you played any other musical instruments besides the guitar?
I have, yeah. So I play a little bit of harmonica. I'm not very good at it, but every now and then I'll pull it out and try to play.
I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Do you remember your first song that you played with your guitar?
Oh gosh. I'm sure it was like a hymnal because my granddad, he played a lot of hymns in church, so I'm sure it was like a hymnal.
What's been some of the most hardest, difficult songs to do with the guitar?
So I can't solo. I can't do any of that stuff. I wish I could, but I guess that's why you hire guitar players that are better than you. um, I don't even know. I can't. I feel like if something is really hard, I'll try to teach myself. So I just try to keep challenging myself every day.
Do you remember the first time you performed in front of a live audience?
Ooh. Yeah, so I used to dance when I was young. I used to take tap, jazz, and ballet. And when I was really, really young, I think I was on stage by the time I was 3. So that was probably the first time I probably did my first recital in front of a live audience.
Do you remember the first song that you ever wrote?
Oh gosh. No, I sure don't. I feel like at that time, a lot of it blurred together. I wrote a lot of songs just sitting in my room when I was a teenager, writing about life and everything. But one song I do really remember writing that was in my early stages was a song called "Fishing in Daddy's Pond," and it was about my stepdad who we had a pond out back, and it's just about this young romance of a girl and a guy going out to sneak around and be behind, fishing in daddy's pond. So it's a cute little song.
And that leads me. I was gonna play this song in a few minutes, but one of the songs that you just wrote, I guess, recently, "Rodeo Queen." What was your inspiration behind "Rodeo Queen"?
Yeah, Rodeo Queen was basically my parents' love story. It was about my stepdad and my mom. She was a barrel racer. My dad was a bull rider. They fell in love, and that's how this song became what it is.
And I really enjoyed it. I listened to a couple of your songs today, and "Rock for Christmas" was really catchy as well. What was your inspiration, motivation for the "Rock for Christmas" song?
Yeah, so my guitar player actually came up with this idea. I thought it was kind of cheesy to write a Christmas song. I'm not a huge fan of Christmas songs. There's only very select few that I love. But my guitar player was like, we should write one and we should call it Rock for Christmas. And I'm like, that sounds so cheesy. And he's like, no, hear me out. It's like rocking out for Christmas, but then also wanting to rock for Christmas. And I'm like, okay, that's great. I love that. That's a good idea. We should write that.
Very, very catchy song. I want to ask you this as well. Most of your songs, do you generally keep them with what, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, or just depends?
Yeah, usually. I mean, I guess we just kind of stick to the standard. We'll write a verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, and then we'll usually just time it out and see where it ends up. And it usually ends up around, 3, 3.5.
Casey, can you tell us before you play some of your songs here? Can you tell us about the songwriting aspect of it and what you love about it, and what are some of the hardest aspects of songwriting?
Yeah, I think the thing I love about it most right now is the boys in the band. We're all writing together right now. So anytime we're in the van or anytime we're on the road, we'll just grab a guitar and we'll all just write together. So for the last 2 years, we've been doing that, and that's what I love, love, love. I think the hardest part about writing would probably be finding the inspiration. I think that when you're in a writer's block, that really sucks. So, but like it is great to have the boys in the band like bounce ideas off of what you want to write about that day or anyone you're in a room with. So I love co-writing because even if you don't have an idea, somebody else probably will.
Would you recommend for those people that are trying to get in the music industry, Casey, that they before they do performing, singing, that they should try the songwriting aspect of it as well?
Sure. Heck yeah. Why not? I mean, I kind of fell into it. I just, since I played guitar, I just started writing poems and I just picked up the guitar and just thought it was fun. So I just kind of fell into it. But yeah, absolutely.
And I have a friend of mine. His name is Robbie. He's from Buffalo, New York. He has his own podcast show himself, the 716 Sports Blizzard. He has a question he wanted to ask you. How long has Casey Johns been a singer songwriter?
I guess professionally, I've been doing this for about 15 years.
Congratulations. And since Robbie asked this question, how do you feel how much do you feel you've improved since you started from 15 years ago?
Oh my gosh, a ton. Absolutely. Man, so I used to sing in the rodeo circuit and I used to take my, Garth Brooks microphone and my wireless guitar out into the middle of a rodeo arena and put on like a 20-minute intermission show. And I look back on those videos now and I'm like, geez, if I could only knew what I, know now. And then, I think going from that and then playing in a ton of different bands and going to cruise ships. I sang on cruise ships for 6 years, and just learning a lot of different vocal material and, anything from Motown to disco to country, and then going to Dollywood where it was all country music. So I think vocally I've expanded a lot. And then, going to Nashville and just singing on the Broadway scene with different bands every single day. I think I've definitely learned a lot and I'm very grateful.
What was it like being on a cruise ship for 6 years and that experience?
I loved it. It was so much fun. You learn so much. I mean, my job was pretty awesome. I was hired as a rock band vocalist. So basically we would have different theme nights every night. You'd sing like 5 nights a week. And then you do like Motown, disco, Woodstock, country. I mean, 80s music, 90s music. Every night would be a different theme. And you'd have to learn so much material. And I loved it. It was great.
Wanted to ask you this too. How much of an impact did church have on your music career as well?
I grew up in church and, that's pretty much where I got started. I think a lot of artists get started singing in church, especially if you're from the South. Yeah. So.
As for a vocal, did you ever have a vocal coach? And before you do a live performance, do you have do you drink like coffee, tea, water for your voice?
I'm a whiskey girl, so I probably should take better care of my voice, but I don't. Usually before I sing, I take a shot of whiskey, and that's probably terrible, but that is just I've always done that. I don't know why.
Gotta ask you this: how did you come about your own whiskey line in 2023?
That was amazing. That was so much fun. We had a friend of ours came to us and said, "Hey, what are 2 things you're interested in? We'd love to try to get some endorsements." And I said, "Skincare and whiskey." The skincare did not do that well, but the whiskey did better. And I think it's mostly because we draw like a whiskey audience, so which is perfect. But it was great.
And
I got to go through the whole process of choosing the flavor, the design. Um, the name of it and everything. So it was so fun. I've actually got it sitting right here. These are the little baby shooters.
is it available in Canada?
I don't think it is. I wish it was.
Oh,
It's distilled out of California though, so maybe soon.
because I now I want to try it.
Yes, we'll have to send you one.
Absolutely. And can you just tell us a little bit about your song "Whiskey Break"?
Yeah. My A lot of inspiration comes from, just, anything in life, whether it's family, friends, the boys in the band, the audience, romance, whatever. This inspiration definitely came from my guitar player, who he always says I work the band too hard, that we always need a whiskey break. And I said, man, whiskey break sounds like such a good title for a song. We should totally write that. So, yeah, we got into the studio and we wrote a good old rock and roll song.
And one thing too, when I talk to comedians, they get a lot of their inspiration from their life experiences, and they find comedy helps them get through tough times in life. How much is music like therapy as a musician and a songwriter for you?
Oh, huge. Absolutely. Definitely. I mean, yeah, I think honestly, if you're writing from the heart, people will connect in some way.
All right, Casey. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play one of your songs. The first one is called "Rock for Christmas." I have to ask you this since we're on YouTube and Facebook and copyright. I have your permission to play it.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, and let me know if you can hear the audio. Besides wearing this ball cap, I wear 7 or 8 different hats doing this show. So just bear with me, Casey, and let me know if you can hear the audio. And this is called "Rock for Christmas" from Casey Johns' YouTube channel. Please subscribe like I did as well.
Snow is finally falling and my baby's got the fire down low. Hey there, Mr. Kringle, don't you know I've been a very good girl? You can keep the pony cause I ain't no little girl. The only stuff for me in this great big world. Santa, bring the band, we'll be ringing in New Year's Day. I wanna rock for Christmas. I wanna rock for Christmas. Santa, bring the band, we'll be ringing in New Year's Day. I left this song, got your cookies, and I really hope you like them that way. The nog is sweet and strong, later Rudolph will be driving the sleigh. You can wrap it with a bow or hide it in a tree when you're sliding down the chimney. The only thing I need, Santa, bring the band, we'll be ringing in New Year's Day. I wanna rock Christmas. I wanna rock for Christmas. Santa, bring the band, we'll be ringing in New Year's Day. Santa, bring the band, we'll be ringing in New Year's Day. You can keep the pony cause I ain't no little girl. The only star for me in this great big world. Santa, bring the band, we'll be ringing in New Year's Day. I wanna rock for Christmas. I wanna rock for Christmas. I wanna rock. Santa, bring the band, we'll be ringing in New Year's Day. I wanna rock for Christmas. I wanna rock for Christmas. I wanna rock for Christmas. I wanna rock.
That is a great song, Casey. And just thoughts on "Rock for Christmas." And did you want to give a shout out to some of the people behind the scenes as well?
Oh my gosh. Oh, there were so many beautiful, beautiful people in the video. I mean, the band, um, I mean, Carl Diebold, who produced it and directed it, edited it. We had some friends from Seattle show up. Some of the wives, some of the musicians' wives came and hung out with us. My marketing team was there, so yeah, it was a really fun shoot. And a
And
huge
tell
thank you, and
people
a huge
that
thank you to Santa's Pub. We shot this at Santa's Pub, so huge thank you to Santa. He was awesome.
how important is it to find the right setting to shoot a video?
Well, this video was pretty simple. My marketing team was like, "Why don't you shoot it at Santa's Pub? This makes total sense." So that was pretty much a given.
How satisfying was it to hear it come out and get positive responses?
It was great. It was awesome. We've had so much fun just promoting this song and adding it to our live show during the holidays. So it's been great.
Have you thought about in the future doing another Christmas song?
Yeah, I probably will. I maybe we'll write another one and next year, and then maybe do a remake of a few Christmas songs. Maybe we'll make a record in the future. Who knows?
Do you have a favorite Christmas song? Mine is The Grinch.
Is it really? That's great.
The Grinch and Jingle Bells.
That's great. I love it. I think mine would probably be "Please Come Home for Christmas." I like the Eagles version.
The Eagles, what a great band. Have you ever seen them perform live?
I haven't, but my friend was just saying that they saw him out in Vegas and they said it was amazing.
Yeah, to this day, my favorite Eagles song is Hotel California.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hey, Casey, if you get a little more time, is it okay if I play Rodeo Queen as well?
Of course, absolutely.
And it's courtesy of the Casey Johns YouTube channel. Everybody, please make sure you hit subscribe and like notification. And this is another great song as well. And I still got more to catch up on. So 1 second, Casey, and let me know if you can hear the audio okay.
No big city pretty girl. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Daddy was a Mustang, Mama knew how to brake. I saw his love was a sure thing, even when I was 8. He worked the land like a man, was a shoulder for Mama to cry. She sunk in her spurs, turning into her kind of guy. Mama didn't raise no big city pretty girl. Can't turn a wrench, make a fire in a country world. Turn on my feet, carry stuff over my head. It's like I'm riding barrels, looking for a man that'll stand in a snake skin. Beat the sun up, he's already awake then. Give me some love when it's going down again. Oh, if you wait there for it, a few seconds is all that you get. Try to ride with me, with this rodeo queen. You're gonna get your blood branded if I'm carrying your last name. He got your eyes on the prize, but I make the rules to this game. Mama didn't raise no big city pretty girl. Can't turn a wrench, make a fire in a country world. Turn on my feet, carry stuff over my head. It's like I'm riding barrels, looking for a man that'll stand in a snake skin. Beat the sun up, he's already awake then. Give me some love when it's going down again. Oh, if you wait there for it, a few seconds is all that you get. Try to ride with me, with this rodeo queen. Mama didn't raise no big city pretty girl. Pretty girl. Oh, Mama didn't raise no big city pretty girl. Yeah. Mama didn't raise no big city pretty girl. Can't turn a wrench, make a fire in a country world. Turn on my feet, now it's stuff off of my hands. It's like I'm riding barrels, looking for a man that'll stand in a and again and again. Oh, if you wait there for a few seconds is all that you get, try to ride with me. Oh, if you wait there for a few seconds is all that you get, try to ride with me with this Radio Queen. Oh, with this Radio Queen.
That was courtesy of Casey John's Rodeo Queen. And please remember to subscribe and hit the like notification to Casey's YouTube channel. Casey, just thoughts on that song and how satisfying was it to write that song and positive response? I believe over 300,000 plus live streams on Spotify alone.
It's man, it's been amazing just to see people just like the song, honestly. I mean, I looked at it this week, it had over 400,000 streams, and we were just like, what is happening? I mean, that's close to, that's crazy. I'm just blown away. It's close to 500,000, and I'm just happy people like it. So that's great.
Well, congratulations. And I was going to ask you this later, but just thoughts on how much the pandemic and live stream and social media have changed the music industry.
Yeah, I think for the better, honestly. I think people are able to reach out and connect a lot more intimately and a little bit better. And I mean, we're able to, I don't even have to come to Canada to hang out with you. You know what I mean? We can just do this here, and it's great. It's great. I think it's amazing.
And it can be a great tool. I started this career in radio media 5 years ago and got through the pandemic through the tool. So social media, if you use it the right way, it's a good tool. And also the internet as well. It really does shrink the world down. And as a musician, it gives you more exposure.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
Now, since I have you on here for a few more minutes, Casey, you have any new recent latest singles coming out that you would like to announce on here?
I do. I'm so excited. We have a brand new single coming out February 7th, and it's called Break from the Heart. So just in time for Valentine's Day.
Break from the Heart on February 7th. And it'll be available where on all social media platforms and live streaming?
Yes, absolutely.
What was your inspiration behind this latest song?
Basically, this song is about, I wrote this song with the boys in the band. We were going down the road and we were just reminiscing on heartbreaks. And, I was just telling them, I was like, you know what, it would be great to somehow take a break from the heart when you're going through such a hard time. And that just became the title, and that just became the inspiration. And it's about just going through heartbreaks. And I think anyone can pretty much relate to it, hopefully.
Casey, I know you have one album out, I believe in 2022, called Thunder. Any plans for another album in the future as well?
Absolutely. We have been talking about maybe releasing a record either at the end of this year or the end of next year. So hopefully some good things are happening.
And what are your thoughts on the CDs? Do you find there's still a future for CDs?
I think so. I mean, vinyl came back, I think CDs will come back.
I still have CDs at home, but unfortunately, these new vehicles no longer have CD players in them. So, but I'm going to hang on to them anyways because I agree with you. Eventually, they will come back.
I think so. I mean, bell bottoms came back. There's so many things that come back that it's like, well, we might as well keep them.
That's true. Hey, since I got you on here, Casey, how important is branding yourself, marketing and branding yourself as a musician?
I think it's really important. I've been very grateful in the past year to create a really beautiful team, and they've really helped shape, what I want to say to the world and how I want to market myself. And I think it's great to surround yourself with really good people that can really help, put that out into the world.
For those people watching on live stream or audio and they're interested in supporting you and stuff like that, where's the best place where they can get your merchandise at?
Yeah, you can go to kcjohns.rocks.
And I also have under here a Linktree site as well, which has everything of yours on there as well.
Correct.
I think Linktree /Casey Johns as well.
That's perfect.
So what do you have right now in terms of merchandise, hats and T-shirts and stuff like that, and obviously the whiskey?
We do, yeah. So we have hats. We're about to get some hoodies, which is really exciting because it's freaking cold. We got T-shirts, we got vinyl, we got necklaces with guitar picks, my name on them. I mean, we've got what else do we have? We've got obviously CDs. Yeah, anything you can think of right now. We're about to get some bottle openers, so those will be fun. And then obviously we'll have some new merch for Break from the Heart. So we really want to hear what people actually want. Are people wanting more T-shirts? Are they wanting hoodies? Are they wanting long sleeves? So hopefully we'll kind of hear from, what people actually want in the next merch.
For me, it's hoodies. I'm a hoodie guy.
Yes, yes.
How hard was it to come up with your logo, or did you just want something to keep it simple in that as well with your
I
logo?
wanted I wanted something super simple. My friend David created it, and he actually does all of my merch. And so I was looking for something simple, and he was like, "Well, what about this?" And we went through a few rough drafts, and I'm like, I just want it to be just my name and just a big J across it, and that's exactly what he did. So it turned out great.
Do you have any plans to perform outside the States? I've seen in your bio that you've gone to Norway. What was that experience like? And do you have any plans to come to Canada at some point? Because Canada has a large country music environment here as well.
Man, I would love to come to Canada. That would be so fun to actually get to meet you in person and then get to perform some live shows. I don't have any plans to come out there, but I would absolutely love to. That would be so fun. But
Any of your oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to say Norway was amazing. It looks like we're doing a London tour this year, so that's going to be I've never been to London, so that'll be new and exciting. So, but like I said, I hope we actually get to come to Canada.
We have a London, Ontario here, which is not as big as London, England, but it's about 400,000 people, and they like their country music there as well. I'm on the east part of Canada, but I know the western part of Canada, out in Alberta, BC, Saskatchewan, they love country music as well.
Oh, that'd be so cool. I hope we get to do that one day.
What are you looking forward to the most in performing in London, England?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I think we're doing a lot of shows with a bunch of other artists. So I'm excited to just hang out with the other artists and talk about music and just be on the road with them. And so that's going to be fun. And I'm just excited to go see, all of London. I've never really gotten to see any of that. So I mean, I've been to Norway a couple of times and yeah, so it's going to be fun to just see different parts of the world.
And I've had one guest on that's a country music singer from the UK. And when I had her on a year ago, Olivia Lynn was her name. She told me how big country music was in London, England, and I was surprised. But it really is not just an American thing anymore. It's really international.
I was surprised too when the first time we went to Norway. I was like, man, these people are going to hate me, but they love live music. They love country music. And I've heard the same thing for London as well. So like even all over the UK, I think it's great that people are so accepting of country music. So it's pretty awesome.
What do you love the most about performing in front of an audience?
Oh, probably the energy. I love an audience with some good energy. I like, honestly, I just like, it's our job to help people, if they're having a bad day, to help them put a smile on their face and help them, forget about life for a while. And, whether it's a 90-minute set, whether it's a 4-hour set, like if you can help someone have fun in life and forget about all the hard times in life for a second. That's my favorite part about music, is that it can completely change your day and it'll just put a smile on your face and you start to get in your feelings and you start to connect and you start dancing, and it's just, I love a good energy audience.
How long did it take for you to engage an audience? And on average, Casey, how long is one of your performances?
We, depending on where it is, we normally do about a 90-minute set. And yeah, I think honestly, if you just, you just connect with someone in the audience and you just have fun, I think people just want you to have a good time up there, and that's what they want to see. So,
When you do a live performance, the setup, how long does it take for you and your band to set up?
oh gosh, It depends on where it is. It depends on if sound is already there or if we have to set up an entire sound equipment, the rig. So I guess it really depends. Yeah, it depends on where we are, what the setup is, all of that.
Casey, do you have time for 5 more minutes? A couple more quick questions.
Sure.
Okay, I just wanted to check with you. I was reading your bio, and I do this with all my guests, doing my homework. But what was it like opening up for artists such as Luke Bryant, Chris Young, Randy Houser, Trailer Couture, and Morgan Wade, I believe?
It was amazing. I mean, every single one of those artists have been very, very kind and fun, and yeah, it's been a crazy ride. I opened up for Luke Bryant back in 2009, whenever he was just getting a start. So it's been crazy to see how amazing he's, grown. And then Morgan Wade, we got to perform with her last summer at Gordy's Highway 30 Fest in Idaho, which we will be back this summer, I think. And so, yeah, it's been great to just perform and hang out with these other artists because they're just so inspiring.
What have been some of your favorite cities and favorite clubs to perform at in your career so far? Or should I say most memorable so far?
Ooh, that's a great one. I have so many favorites. I love Key West. I love performing down there because it's super sunshiny. I'm done with this cold weather. Gosh, I love performing at the stages here in Nashville. We've, played in Norway a couple of times. Those are some of my favorites. We played in Seattle a couple of times. I have so many favorites. I can't even name just one.
What do you love the most about Nashville, Tennessee? And for people like myself that have never been there, what's one of the reasons why we should come and visit Nashville?
Because it's growing so much, I think it's really awesome for people to come back year after year and see all the changes that are happening. I feel like Nashville is we've opened up so many great restaurants, so many great things to do here. And Nashville's just a fun spot. I mean, it's full of live music. You'll never get bored here. So yeah, I think everyone should at least visit it. I mean, we have so many bachelorette parties here and so many people celebrating, milestone birthdays and yeah, I think everyone should try to visit. It's growing so much right now.
Have you been to Graceland yet, where Elvis Presley was born from?
I have. So I'm from Memphis, and so Graceland was pretty much part of my childhood.
What was that experience like? And is there a particular Elvis Presley song that you love to sing or perform?
Heartbreak Hotel has always been my favorite to sing. I also love That's All Right, Mama. That's a great one too. But yeah, I mean, getting to see Graceland and how it's grown over the years too it's been pretty cool.
I'm going to put you on the spot here with this question before I wrap it up, and I do it with all my guests. What are some fun facts about Casey Johns that your fans might not know about you?
Well, I was a rodeo girl. I grew up barrel racing with my mom, and so I was rodeoing from the time I was, gosh, really, really young till the time I was about 17. So that was I high school rodeoed and grew up around horses, grew up on a farm. And what's some other things? I sang on cruise ships and some other fun fact. I don't even know. I'm trying to think of the rodeo world is probably the biggest one. A lot of people, it's not really in my story, but I feel like since we put Rodeo Queen out, I've been trying to put that out into the world that it is part of my story,
And what are some other countries that you're looking forward to going to in the future? Obviously, London, England, the UK, but is there some other countries that you'd like to travel in the next few years?
I would love to make our way over to Sweden. I'd love to do some stuff in the Netherlands. There's still a lot of international stuff I'd really love to do. But right now I'm super, super excited that we have, a full tour schedule booked this year. I mean, we're going out to Wisconsin. We're doing more stuff in Key West. We've just got a huge tour schedule this year. So hopefully I get to see people on the road this year.
What's your favorite food in Nashville, Tennessee? What do you like for food and desserts?
Italian food is probably my favorite right now. I go through phases. Italian and sushi are probably my two favorites.
Before live performance, do you have a certain food that you like to have, or after a performance?
Oh, before? Gosh, I eat a lot of meat. I love sushi. I love fish. I make a smoothie every single morning. I try not to eat right before a show. I try to eat in the morning, and then if I do the show, and then late at night is usually when I'll just chow down.
And how important is it to look after your voice too?
Very important. Very important. It's especially if you've done like a full 90-minute or 4-hour set, depending on what you've done. I try not to talk too much after a show because that's when I feel like you start to really strain. So after a show, I do try to rest for a little bit before trying to talk over loud music. But
And before we wrap this up, do you have any live performances coming up this week that you would like to promote on air?
so we just got back from Colorado. We just played at Steamboat Festival. That was so much fun. Hopefully we get to be a part of that again next year. We are in Louisville for the next couple of days, but they're kind of private parties. And then we're in Key West for Mile Zero Fest coming up in about a week or so.
Hopefully the weather will be. What's the perfect temperature for Casey Johns?
Like 70.
70? I would say myself 75 would be perfect.
That's perfect.
But I being in Canada, I like our 4 seasons and that as well. And by the way, before we wrap this up, what's one thing you know about Canada? Just a fun fact about Canada.
I know that you guys say Canada, eh? I know y'all say A a lot. Y'all say A a lot. I had a friend.
Yes.
I had a friend on cruise ships, and she was Canadian. And every time, after everything, like everything she would say A, and I'm like, that was something I definitely picked up.
Our accent, but we have a lot of great, besides hockey and beer here, we have a lot of great actors, actresses, and comedians and musicians as well. And Casey, I'm hoping one day you'll come to Ontario and maybe play in Toronto, which is like our version of New York and LA. And I want to say, Casey, thank you so much for giving us time out of your busy schedule for doing this. And you have an open invite to come back on again. And where can my audience, again, follow you on social media, your website, and your merchandise, and your latest song again, if you'd like to promote it?
Yeah, you can go to caseyjohns.rocks, and there you can find new music, media, merch, and then Break from the Heart is my brand new single. It comes out February 7th.
Well, congratulations on this as well. And I also am going to put this down besides too, booking information. If anybody wants to contact your agent and stuff like that, all the email information's down here as well, Casey.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. Thanks for having me. It was such an honor.
Absolutely. And when I do get up to Nashville, Tennessee, I will definitely let you know, because that's one of the states I've never been to, and that's on my bucket list. But I want to say continued success in your career. Give me a little bit of time tonight, and I'll send you the video, the audio, and I'm going to break this down into reels and clips as well. And I just want to say it was a pleasure having you on live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, Casey. And do you have a quick question for the host before we wrap this up?
Well, what is your favorite type of food?
My favorite type of food is simple. I like my steak and potatoes, and I love pasta, especially lasagna. And as for dessert, I like blueberry pie and pumpkin pie.
Wow, I was not expecting that. Nobody ever really says pie for their favorite dessert. That's awesome.
Or coconut pie, banana pie. Any good pie is always good.
I love that. That's awesome.
By the way, my music changes. My music tastes have changed over the years from doing this show. I still like my classic rock, the Motown music, but I'm also now a big fan of the newer country music. And I've been very lucky having so many great country music artists on my show. And I just again want to say thank you so much, Casey, for doing this.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Have a great night. Enjoy your weekend and rest your voice. And we'll keep in touch on social media.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Casey.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, that wraps up season 9, episode 39, overall 479 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. Again, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall, and brought to you by Wellington Brewery at 950 Woodlawn Road here in Guelph. Try a Welly on, and please remember to drink responsibly, and check out their website at wellingtonbrewery.ca. Speaking of Wellington Brewery, right now, Wellington Brewery, try their Arcal Best Bitter Beer. It's $3.23 a can, excludes HST and deposit, 4% alcohol content. Arcal Best Bitter Beer was first brewed in 1985. That's 40 years ago. And it is an amber session ale with a mild caramel and biscuit malt body and subtle floral hop finish. This well-balanced English-style bitter beer is a perfect session ale for any occasion. And check out Wellington Brewery again at 950 Woodlawn Road West here in Guelph, not far from Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Speaking of Barry Cullen Chevrolet, right now it's winter time, and winter can be hard on our vehicles, especially the battery. Right now, if you go to Barry Cullen Chevrolet service department, you can get a free battery test. That's right, a free battery test, and they will also throw in a $20 instant rebate on a new AC Delco 12-volt battery if you need one at Barry Cullen Chevrolet. So it's better to make sure your battery's at full charge, because the winter weather here and the cold temps can weaken your battery, and there's nothing worse than being stuck on the road in the wintertime and having to wait for a tow truck to come, which could be 30 minutes to an hour or 2 hours. So down to Barry Cullen Chevrolet very soon, or maybe next week, and get your free battery test and a $20 instant rebate on a new AC Delco battery if you need one as well. And Barry Cullen Chevrolet has been a proud sponsor of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show since September 2022 as well. My next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show is going to be Wednesday, January 15th at 6:30 p.m. with my special guest, Brian Shanahan, the brother of NHL Hall of Famer and Maple Leaf president Brandon Shanahan. Brian is a Hall of Fame lacrosse player. He's a 5-time Mann Cup champion, and he was introduced into the Etobicoke Sports Hall of Fame in 2019. And Brian is now an analyst with the National Lacrosse League, and he's a writer with Indoor Lacrosse as well. So Brian and I are going to talk about the Bandits, the Buffalo Bandits 15-13 win over the Toronto Rock last night at the KeyBank Center. And we're going to talk about the National Lacrosse League, the other teams around the league, and some news, and get his thoughts on the 7-game suspension to one of the Halifax Thunderbirds players for interacting with a fan as well. So Brian Shanahan will be on Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show this Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. as well. And also, if you have an interesting story and you'd like to share it on my platform, please DM me on social media or send me an email at cpame19@gmail.com. That's cpame19@gmail.com, as I'm always looking for new guests. And tonight was my 479th show, and I've been very lucky the last 5 years to have so many wonderful guests as well. And I want to say thank you to my guest tonight, Casey Johns. A Nashville recording artist and songwriter, for coming on as well. Before we wrap up this show, guys, as always, if you're looking to adopt a pet, please check out the Cambridge and District Humane Society at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. Telephone number 519-623-7722, extension 0, or visit their website at cambridgehumanesociety.org. All the animals that are up for adoption there are on that website. And also, guys, if you're looking to volunteer, like I volunteer twice a week as a dog walker, you can fill out a volunteer form through the cambridgehumanesociety.org website. And they're also doing a 50-50 raffle on there as well. Go on the website, click on events as well. The Cambridge District Humane Society, they do a great job in providing shelter to homeless animals and finding them new forever homes as well. So Cambridge District Humane Society, please check out their website, cambridgehumanesociety.org. And they are still selling 2025 Cambridge District Humane Society calendars for only $10. And I want to say thank you to everyone for buying a calendar for me. I sold 32 calendars and raised $320 for the Cambridge Humane Society as well. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, again, is live streamed on these platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter/X, Twitch, LinkedIn, and now available on Instagram. Please make sure you hit the follow, subscribe, and like notifications to my social media pages. You can also check out my website, beacons.ai/Chris D. Palme. Again, Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show is sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership in Wellington Brewery here in Guelph. Please check out Barry Cullen Chevrolet if you're looking for a new or used GM vehicle or an all-electric product or a Cadillac product. And if you like local craft beer, check out Wellington Brewery again at 950 Woodlawn Road West here in Guelph. And also their website is wellingtonbrewery.ca. Try a welly on, and please remember to drink responsibly. Guys, I'm also a content creator besides being a radio talk show host. You can follow me on TikTok at Live with CDP. And I want to say thank you to my 2,602 followers on TikTok. And I do a lot of content on TikTok. So please check me out and hit the follow and like notification. StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. If you're into webinars or live streaming, podcasting, check out StreamYard.com. They have basic free plans, and they also have paid professional plans that I have. And if you're a business that does a lot of webinars or live streaming, StreamYard.com, and check out their sales department as well. I've been with StreamYard.com now for 4 years, and I give them a big thumbs up as well. And I want to give a big thumbs up to Sarah, the manager of First Choice Haircutters at 995 Paisley Road in Guelph. If you're looking for a good quality haircut, check out First Choice Haircutters at 995 Paisley Road in Guelph. And the manager's name there is Sarah, and she's been cutting my hair for the last, 10 years, and she does a great job. So Sarah, thank you so much for making Live with CDP look so good with your haircuts. And yeah, I still have hair, guys. I still have hair, not a lot, but Sarah does a really good job. So if you're in the Guelph area and you're looking for a good hairstylist, check out First Choice at 995 Paisley Road here in Guelph. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. The audio version is available on these platforms: iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, Tuned In, YouTube Music, and Good Pods. And make sure you hit subscribe as well. Finally, guys, you can email Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show at cpame19@gmail.com. And also, guys, I'm on PayPal. If you guys are looking to support my radio and media work, I'm on PayPal, and it's cpame19@gmail.com. And also, I am on Cameo. If you guys would like a personalized video from yours truly, CDP, click cameo.com/Chris Palme. Book your Cameo today, and I'd be happy to do one for you as well. And also, guys, you can follow me on all these social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads. I'm now on Blue Sky. And also remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Chris Palme. And also I am on Blue Sky as well. Blue Sky is similar to what Twitter X was. I'm just going to try to put my handle here. I did have, okay, on Blue Sky, guys, you can find me at, here it is right here. You can find me on Blue Sky at livewithcdp19.bsky.social. That's live with CDP 19 period BSKY period social. I'm on there now as well. So I'm pretty well on all major platforms, and I want to say thank you to everyone for subscribing and following me as well here. And before we wrap up this show, guys, I just want to say thank you to Casey Johns for coming on here again tonight. And also, we have some National Football League playoffs. Right now, we have the Chargers and Texans going on right now. The last count I saw, it was 6-0 Chargers in the second quarter. And then tonight we have 8 o'clock. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers and Ravens. I'm going to go through the games and then I'll give you my picks. So Chargers right now, we're last leading 6-0 over the Texans in the second quarter. 8 o'clock kickoff tonight, Steelers and Ravens. And then Sunday we have 3 games: the Broncos and Bills at 1 o'clock, the Packers and Eagles at 4:35. And then Sunday night we have Washington and Tampa Bay at 15. And then the Monday night game is still going to take place, but it's going to be Minnesota at the Rams at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. They had to move the game due to the wildfires and the tragedies in the Los Angeles, California area right now, which was the right move by the National Football League. And I know the Lakers have canceled one game this week because of it. The Clippers have canceled a game, and the Kings have canceled a game. So I also want to say prayers and thoughts out to all my friends and everybody out in the Los Angeles, California area right now affected by the wildfires. And if you want to help out online, you can do it through the Red Cross in the States, redcross.org in the States. And if you want to help out the people affected by this tragedy and wildfires in Los Angeles, California area here in Canada, you check out the Canadian Red Cross or redcross.ca as well. And we get another comment from Robbie Schneider. Sabres lost 6-2 tonight against the Kraken. Buffalo Sabres at times look good, but obviously today they were off 2-0 against Seattle after the first period. Sabres, I don't think are going to make the playoffs. There's times where the Sabres look good, but they're just not a very good hockey club. I'll leave it at that. As for the Buffalo Bandits, they came off a big comeback win, 15-13 over the Toronto Rock. And the Buffalo Bills take on Denver tomorrow at 1 o'clock as well. And I'm going to give you the quick thoughts on the Eagles-Packers game. Eagles played the Packers opening week in Brazil. They beat the Packers 34-29. Eagles are coming into this game relatively healthy. Jalen Hurts has been cleared from concussion protocol. He's going to be playing. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith are going to be healthy. The Eagles come into this game 14-3. They're going to be at home for at least 2 home playoff games, hopefully. And the Packers are coming off a bad loss at Lambeau to the Chicago Bears. And Christian Watson, their number one receiver, tore an ACL. He's out for the season. And Jordan Love is going to start this game for the Packers, but he's coming in with an elbow injury. So who knows how effective he will be. And Jalen Hurts hasn't played in 3 weeks, so there could be some rust on Jalen Hurts. And as for Jordan Love, he's going to be hurt too. Big key matchup here is going to be the O lines and the D lines. The Eagles definitely can run the ball with Saquon Barkley and Kenneth Gainwell and Jordan and Jalen Hurts. The Packers have a very good running game in Josh Jacobs, and I really feel a key to this game tomorrow. The Eagles should win this game, but for the Packers, with Jordan Love's elbow injury, I don't know how effective he'll be passing the ball, and their receiving core is not that great. I think Josh Jacobs is going to have to get the ball 30 or more times and get at least 125 yards. If Josh Jacobs can get the ball 30 times and run for 125, 150 yards, Packers will have a chance. But if the Eagles do not turn the ball over and play disciplined football and don't turn it over, I feel the Eagles will win this game by at least 10 points or more over the Green Bay Packers as well. And that's about it, guys. I want to say thank you again to my guest, Casey Jones. Please check out her website, Casey Johns, not Jones. Casey Johns rocks her website. She's on all social media platforms, and she's also on Spotify. She is a very talented upcoming Nashville recording artist, songwriter, and please listen to her songs. And today I listened to 3 of her songs. I got some more to listen to on Spotify. I listened to Rock for Christmas, Rodeo Queen, and Whiskey Break as well. So Casey Johns, please check her out and support her on social media and on Spotify and Apple iTunes as well. And that's about it for our show, guys. I want to say thank you to everyone watching this live streamed on audio, and thank you to my sponsors, Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership and Wellington Brewery here in Guelph. I hope everybody has a great night. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and also enjoy the National Football League playoffs. And also, before I mention, as much as this pains me to say this, congratulations to the Ohio State Buckeyes and Notre Dame Fighting Irish for both advancing to the national championship game, January 20th. I can't remember where the game's at. I believe it's in Atlanta, but Notre Dame is looking for their first national championship since 1988, and Ohio State's looking to win another one. But as much as I do not like either one of these schools, congratulations to Notre Dame and Ohio State. And it should be a very interesting and exciting national championship. Obviously, Ohio State will be the heavy favorites, but Notre Dame, every time somebody says they can't do it, they seem to do it. So Notre Dame, Ohio State coming up January 20th, 7:30 from the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. That's about it, guys. Again, thank you to Casey Johns for coming on, and I hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll see you back here Wednesday night, 6:30 for another edition of Live with CDP Sports Talk with guest Brian Shanahan talking National Lacrosse League, sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet and Wellington Brewery. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Live with CDP. Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast, sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.